good morning, and welcome to day 4 of the Transform Your Life in 15 Minutes Day Challenge. My name is Pia McAdams, and I'm happy to see you this morning. Before we get started, I just want to take the time to thank you for taking just 15 minutes out of your day to do this challenge with me. And also, I want to especially thank those that are taking the time to watch the challenge. I'm getting a lot of messages now, not in the comments. The comments are seem very sparse, but that's okay because I'm getting the messages offline with people messaging me or text messaging me. And a lot of times you're apologizing for not being able to come on because like 6 o'clock is too early or 9 o'clock, I'm just getting started with my day. But that's the beauty of it, because it doesn't say transform your life in 15 minutes at 6 a.m. or transform your life in 15 minutes at 9 a.m. It just says transform your life in 15 minutes. So that means just take out of 24 hours, all I'm asking you to do is just take 15 minutes out of that time to allocate it to yourself. You are worth it, okay? And I promise you, you're going to see changes. It's just 15 minutes, okay? So let's go ahead and get started because without further ado, and another thing, people are saying, oh, I want you to talk more and all this, but I promise you 15 minutes. So I know how I am. If someone's telling me that, okay, I'm gonna do something for 5 minutes or 10 minutes or whatever, and then you're looking at the recording time frame. I know like if you're watching it live, it doesn't really matter, but for those of you that are watching the recording, if you see the recording is like 30 minutes, you're like, oh, darn, she said it's gonna be 15 minutes, but it's a 30-minute recording. So that's why I just try to keep it true to form and go no longer than 20 minutes if I can with all the transition, okay? But I promise you, I'll be coming on more and more to talk about just different things, okay? So for the mind portion of the challenge, we're going to be reading the Psycho-Cybernetics. And again, this is by Dr. Maxwell Maltz. And so far what we're learning is, or what we've learned, is that in cybernetics, or Psycho-Cybernetics, is based upon the premise that we have an internal guidance system that's based upon our self-image. And this self-image, it directs our abilities, our habits, our feelings. It basically controls what we do and what we succeed based upon what we feel as our self-image. And that self-image comes from our experiences in the past and things, particularly from our childhood, that we've digested and absorbed internally. And then we also learn that we can change our self-image. So we're not bound, we're not held prisoner to that self-image. We can change it. So yesterday we, Yesterday, we talked about some insights into the subconscious mind, and it appears that there's overwhelming evidence that the subconscious mind is not a mind at all, but it's a servo mechanism. It's like a guided missile, if you will, and it's used by and directed by the mind, and it consists of our brain and our nervous system. And again, it's like a guided missile. It's an automatic ghost-driving machine. And the good news is that it's success-oriented and or failure oriented. And I say it's good news because we get to control that. So if you're being focused on your success goals, then guess what? Automatically it's going to be guided toward those goals. But if you're constantly putting yourself down and just saying negative things, then guess what? It's going to be guided toward that as well, because remember, we're absorbing all of that internally and it's getting that mental picture, that mental image. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started for today's lesson. And I'm skipping over to lesson 2, and it's entitled Discovering the Success Mechanism Within You. And I'm going to start reading from the Success Instinct. It says, a squirrel does not have to be taught how to gather nuts, nor does it need to learn that it should store them for the winter. A squirrel born in the spring has never experienced winter. Yet in the fall of that year, it can be observed busily storing nuts to be eaten during the winter months when there will be no food to be gathered. A bird does not need to take lessons in nest building, nor does it need to take courses in navigation. Yet birds do navigate thousands of miles, sometimes over open sea. They have no newspapers or TV to give them weather reports, no books written by explorer or pioneer birds to map out to them the warm areas of the earth. Nonetheless, the bird knows when cold is imminent and the exact location of a warm climate, even though it may be thousands of miles away. Now, in attempting to explain such things, we usually say that animals have certain instincts that guide them. Analyze all such instincts, and you will find that they assist the animal so successfully they assist the animal to cope successfully within this environment. In short, animals have a success instinct. We often overlook the fact that man too has a success instinct, much more marvelous and much more complex than that of any animal. Our Creator did not shortchange man. On the other hand, man was especially blessed in this regard. Animals cannot select their goals. Their goals, which is self-preservation and procreation, are present, so to speak, and their success mechanism is limited to these built-in goal images, which are called instincts. Man, on the other hand, has something that animals don't: creative imagination. Thus, man of all creatures is more than a creature. He is also a creator. With his imagination, he can formulate a variety of goals. Man alone can direct his success mechanism by the use of imagination or imaging ability. We often think of creative imagination as applying only to poets, inventors, and the like, but imagination is creative in everything that we do. Although they do not understand why or how, imagination sets our creative mechanism into action. Serious thinkers of all ages, as well as hard-headed practical men, have recognized the fact and made use of it. Imagination rules the world, said Napoleon Bonaparte, and also Glenn Clark, which is the author of The Man Who Tapped the Secrets of the Universe. He said that imagination of all man's faculties is the most godlike. Dugald Stewart, the famous Scottish philosopher, also observed the faculty of imagination is the great spring of human activity and the principal source of human improvement. Destroy this faculty, and the conditions of man will become as stationary as that of the brutes. Henry J. Kaiser, the industrialist, considered the fall of American shipbuilding, attributed much of his success in building to the constructiveness or the constructive positive use of creative imagination with these words: you can imagine your future. Isn't that powerful? You can imagine your future. So far what this is saying is that with that success mechanism, we have a success instinct within us, and we get to control it using our imagination. Right, so we go on to say, well, how does the success mechanism work? It says you are not a machine, but discoveries in the science of cybernetics all point to the conclusion that your physical brain and nervous system make up several mechanisms that you use and that operates very much like a computer and a mechanical goal-seeking device. Your brain and nervous system constitute a goal-driving mechanism. Did I just read that? Your brain and nervous system constitute a goal-driving mechanism that operates automatically to achieve a certain goal, very much like a self-aiming torpedo or missile seeks out its target and steers it its way to it. Your built-in servo mechanism functions both as a guided system to automatically steer you the right direction to achieve your goals or make correct responses to your environment, and also as an electronic brain, which can function automatically to solve problems, give you your needed answers, and provide new ideas or inspirations. Says in his book, The Computer and the Brain, Dr. John von Neumann says that the human brain possesses the attributes of both the analog and the digital computer. So there you have it. All right, I gotcha. So psycho-cybernetics, very, very powerful stuff. Okay, let's get started with the next portion. Grab me some water. It's early for me too, but I'm sort of used to it. I'm not getting out of my bed, but I am used to being up this early. All right, I do know I had to turn off this light here. Hold a second, I put an umbrella on it, so there. We're going to take a long walk through my hall of positivity. And I call it that because I have like positive quotes on the wall. I know someone's saying, can you go slower to see what's on your wall? But these are just all quotes that I received or that I put up a long time ago. Remember, I saw The Secret back when Oprah was talking about The Secret. And so I just kind of went through and rewrote all of the positive things that were said in that video, and I put it on my wall. Okay, so now we're moving on to the yoga. And remember, this is not one of those lives that I want you to sit down and watch me. No, not at all. I want you to do it. It's transform your life So in order for you to have the transformation, you need to do it. So I want you to do this yoga portion with me, and also we're going to immediately follow by doing the meditation. Okay? Let's make sure I have to turn off the light. Let me go ahead and do it. Oh gosh, this is the second day in the row. I tell you, I got to go back. I got to go back down the hall of positivity. Why, you say? Because I keep forgetting my cell phone. I remember to turn the timer off, but then I leave it in here. Okay, we'll do better. I'll do better. I promise. Okay. And by the way, I don't really need the timer for this portion, but the music is also on my cell phone. All right. Namaste. This brings us to the final portion of the challenge. We're going to be doing some meditation. So again, I know this is the one where a lot of people are saying, okay, this is what I really need. It's learning how to calm my mind. And I understand because I'm the same way. My mind goes 100 miles a minute. So what you're doing is, again, be patient with yourself and understand that meditation is a practice. So the thoughts will continue to come to your mind until you get used to it. But just gently push them aside and just focus on your breathing. You're going to inhale for a count of 1 and exhale from the count of 2. And make sure that you're nice and comfortable position. Just kind of close your eyes and relax your body. And by the way, I'm doing this sitting down, but you can also do this laying down. But if you are in a bed, just be careful not to fall asleep. Release, relax, and return fresh and calm. You got something good for yourself today. And that concludes day 4 of the 30-day Transform Your Life in 15 Minutes challenge. Thank you for joining me and have a great day.